Stop. Stop everything.
Stop time.
It's time for new beginnings, but before we can begin again, we must stop everything. It's time for reflection, recollection, and self-inspection to look back at our imperfections and misdirection.
It's time to stop time. Time to stop what we started. The wars that have left us brokenhearted. The struggles that have put this world into a chokehold, even if we're not those who scarred it.
It's time to stop everything, from our obligations to our occupation. There's a tight mold we fit that needs our separation. Don't believe me? Fine. Let's start with the obligation.
Sure, you may be obligated to give your brother some bread, but you give it to him frustrated. And that bread will nourish him, and still he's hated.
You may do everything you're obligated to, but you stand there with your heart gated to a brother who just wants your blessings too. And it doesn't matter if you give him 5 loaves or fish too. What good does any of it do for you?
If in your heart your brother still hated.
Because you did only what you were obligated.
And I'm not talking about a sister or a brother who shares your same mother. I'm talking about a sister or a brother who comes from our Father. And as a Christian, you are obligated to help those in need to go to church to pray and in the gospel to read.
But if you sit there only fulfilling a list of what's obliged, you are wearing a Christian disguise. So stop this feeling of obligation and frustration. It's like we're obligated to fulfill a list of good deeds, to listen, to pray, the gospel to read, our poorer brothers to feed, to help those in need, and to memorize a creed.
But none of that is the reason why the sun did bleed. Because our Father doesn't want us to follow simple obligations. Instead, He wants us to make a huge transformation.
And now this brings me to our occupations and how in our jobs we can incorporate this huge transformation.
Now we know Christianity isn't a mask that we can remove when we please. In school or at work, only a Christian when we sneeze, saying God bless you, only a Christian when at ease.
Afraid to point at God for anything bigger, sitting with friends, afraid to pray before eating. And they ask you, hey, where are you going Friday night? And you reply,
Nowhere, just a meeting. You work from 9 to 5.
but from 5 to,
It's all for you.
maybe during that 5 to,
We can squeeze in our God.
maybe He can fit in after we've done our job.
But what we forget is our God is our job. He's our life for every day we're alive.
He's 5 to, He's 9 to 5.
He's 24/7, He's 365.
He's all 12 months,
He's all 52 weeks.
and He's that extra day on leap year.
But when it comes to our job, we say,
Not today. God is not to be here.
because there's a separation between our life with God and our occupation.
So we have to stop our obligations and our occupations.
We have to stop,
We have to stop pride.
because with pride comes the struggle for power and pleasure, with a distorted view of perfection.
And pain for those who meet us at every intersection.
And all of this starts with pride.
So the new year comes along and you pull out a pad and ink and close your eyes tightly as you begin to think.
Screaming, this year will be different. I won't smoke, I won't drink, I won't do anything that will cause anyone to stumble.
I won't fight, I won't curse, I swear I'll be humble.
I'll pick up my cross, I'll do it on my own.
I've made these mistakes, for my sins I must atone.
I'll make this my New Year's resolution that I'll find my own solution.
My problems, they'll be a thing of the past.
But didn't you make the same resolution on New Year's last?
For God to be on our side, even though we've sinned and fought and lied, we have to let go of our pride.
And say to God, be my guide.
Because if there is one thing stopping us from turning the tide,
It's our own view of power, so let's stop our pride.
stop our obligations and our occupations.
Stop time.
Stop everything.
Stop.
Start time.
Start over.
And when I say start time, I mean it's time to start.
Today we start.
Today and every day, you'll have to start all over again, but that's okay.
Even though you'll fall back to the ground, trust that every time you're lost, you'll be found.
So what are you waiting for? He's already paid your cost.
He found you when you were lost.
He even died for you when you nailed him to the cross.
And He tried to help you, but it was Him that you tossed.
Away into the back of your mind saying, I'll come back for you another day.
But I tell you that there is no day like today.
So start time. Start everything anew. I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do.
Today we give God everything that we have. Today we give God 5 too.
We give him 5 loaves and 2 fish. Do you know what he'll give you?
It's simple. If you put your life in God's hands, then He'll carry it.
He'll give you more than what you bargained for.
Put all the evils of your past in His hands and He'll bury it.
You will never see your mistakes anymore.
So what are you waiting for?
Stop everything.
Start anew.
Give God your 5 too.